But
Yeah.
you said my hair's okay.
I love it. It looks beautiful.
I was going for the well, at least I tried look today.
No, it looks like the
I
beachy
tried.
wave that everybody has. Do my hair's all dead.
I'll teach you a few tricks. We'll do it later though. Uh, these guys know who I am, but we definitely have to introduce who you are. You're Annie. We used to have a shop. Well, not together. We had our own shop in a mall, and that's how we met each other.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
based.
remember how I found you. It was because of your shop. Your shop drew me in there. It was the incense. It was the smell. It was
Well, I was just a worker. I worked for someone and they sold items from Mexico. And it was mostly like Day of the Dead, stuff from Oaxaca. So,
Oaxaca.
yeah, we
God
sold
bless
that.
you.
But yeah,
Oaxaca. Bless you.
I know. I got a hawk. No, just kidding. That's what I know. But yeah, started talking because, as it got kind of boring some days, you walk them down your aisle and, you start talking to each other and you make connections with like people. So that's pretty much. But you are, a spiritual person, and same here. And, and I would tell you about I also am a paranormal investigator and talked about all sorts of different things. So
Yeah, it's interesting too because we had so much in common. I was like, this is a soulmate connection. This is-
definitely.
yeah, yeah. And it's interesting too because I left the state and we're still friends. We
Mhm.
talk a lot.
We stayed in touch all these years because also through your channel, when you did different things, of course, support, just checking out what you're doing. So it's been, but it's years, but it doesn't feel like years. So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it's
that's the weirdest thing. It's a weird thing. Like we found each other again. Hello. This is the reason I wanted to like our two brains are better than one, right? You and I got into a really good conversation over a month ago.
mm-hmm.
I couldn't make heads or tails as to what was happening. Okay. And it was in regards to things that people had brought to my attention, things that I had started to notice. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of felt in my heart that the universe was pushing me into a different direction with all of this going on. Because I'm gonna kind of repeat myself because I have said this before, but like I have noticed that every time that I got up and running, I was quickly sat back down. Like I was, preparing like a pick a card for this channel because this channel was intended to be another tarot channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed as I was getting into it, things were just things were not feeling right,
Mm-hmm.
and I would get ready to record something from the channel. Then I had the fires. I had to evacuate. Uh, I got I got sick. It was just, and I had to move. We had to move off the mountains. We had to come, back down to somewhere safer. So on top of that, and when I sit back and I kind of put all this together in my head, and taking in and kind of, I guess, listening to my intuition and listening to what other people were bringing to my attention, things that I had noticed, it was just becoming a cluster of weirdness for me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew in my heart and in my intuition that something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Something still is wrong. So our conversation, we got into that conversation pretty deep.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to retouch on some of the things because you actually helped me kind of pull this all together. Because I guess, on some level, you noticed a few things and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I need another brain in this. I need an outside perspective. I think I'm standing way too close to the topic to see the bigger picture. Even when I pull myself away, I still couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I reached out to you, because I know you're slightly familiar with YouTube and spirituality and tarot and all the amazing things that you do.
You were noticing that you were having concerns about what's going on in the spiritual community. Basically, what we're seeing, that people are using their platform for their own, more than spiritual purpose, but like more of a purpose that took away from the spirituality. I don't know how best to put it, but not being to sound so blunt and, I guess, blunt and direct, but using their own personal views and opinions and not knowing the full spectrum of what they're talking about to others, and spreading misconceptions or maybe their own personal agenda across the board. And and I've noticed that, instead of, I mean, one of the blatant ones were like, where people should have, really see a doctor, see a psychologist, or to seek professional help. And these people who don't have the skills, or believe they have the skills or the backgrounds or the education, are just, through their own spirituality, feel like they can lecture others on, or to guide others when they're not prepared themselves. So basically throwing shade onto the spiritual community, but not like with ill intent on our end. It's more of a concern. And anytime you take the spiritual journey, and everyone experiences their own way, it's not a quick fix. That was the other thing we were talking about, how people are, basically skipping the shadow end of it, the shadow work, the, just like I always call it, like you see memes out there about basic bitches, but it's true. Just because you pick up certain crystals and you start selling all the oils and all this other stuff, doesn't make you an instant guru on how to tell others, on how to basically guide them down their spiritual journey, when there's actual legit professional people that went to school and gone through programs. And and it wasn't a quick, like, let me take 3 courses and all of a sudden I'm a Reiki master and I can tell you, and you get a printout,
No,
and you're there, you know what I mean? There's actual legitimate, like, you go and you do the work. And that's, I think, a problem that's running rampant in our community, or
it
the
is.
community at large. I can't say it's solely, my community, because I belong to various ones, but yes, that's what we were talking about.
The thing that troubles me the most is the idea that like, people think that they, just because they bought a deck of cards doesn't mean that they can just jump out there. First of all, tarot is a lifelong study.
It
Okay,
is.
it's many different. Oh my gosh. Okay, when you break tarot down, there's more than tarot than meets the eye. Okay,
Right.
but going over into like the holistic medicine side of this is where everybody, well, I don't want to say everybody because that would be so bogus to say.
Yeah.
There, we'll say that little cluster of people that we've recognized, that it's obvious to me that they've never taken the time out for that education. And I don't like to brag about myself, but I do say this because I did spend 30 grand on my education. Okay, that was for me to understand essential oils,
Hmm.
all the way down to the chemical compounds of essential oils. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's the little details. That's how. And what frustrated me and shocked me and scared the hell out of me was when I heard that people were suggesting digesting these essential oils. Since
Yeah.
when?
Well,
Since
yeah.
when? And I was trying to do my research, and I was trying to understand, like, who began this narrative? Who is making this okay? And I still have yet to come up with who made this okay? Whose idea was this? And a part of me is like, well, it doesn't really matter. We don't need to find the original person, but at the same time, I'm just like, stop repeating that, because it's fatal. What are we doing here, people? And that's the thing here. That's the thing here. There's people just running
Mm-hmm.
amok in this community,
Mm-hmm.
top of everything else that's going on in here. And I was like, I was asking you, and I was like, how do I approach this without becoming another drama channel? I was like, I cannot stand drama channels. But how do I approach this without like tearing somebody down? I definitely don't want to use them on a first name basis. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, we live in a time where there's a lot of misinformation, or people that do have information and take that little bit and grow from that. This is what I say. I even say this in the paranormal community. Well, this is what there's for the paranormal community. There's no expert. There's people that, yes, they went to school like that, but that's back in the day. Nowadays, it's a little different. Just because you run around with a camera, you've gone to so many locations, blah, 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 does not make you an expert. You may have a lot of hours under your belt, and I've been doing it for almost 10 years, but I do not say that I'm an expert, because I know, one, have I written a paper on it? No, I haven't done, I haven't gone to, I haven't gone to do the parapsychology courses, which they really don't offer that often or whatever. But, there's people that take a little bit of information and all of a sudden they're an expert. But that's with any field. You always have those people that stand on the backs of those people that have done the hard work, who have laid the groundwork. And I think that's what's frustrating. And I think that's what's irritating. I mean, there's crystals out there that people wear against their skin, or they put in their water. And you know what? And some of them are asbestos. Some of them are colored. Some of them, they're not meant to be ingested.
they're real. Some of them are not even real.
Yes, but people, there's some that people go, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I feel the energy from this one. And it's like, I get it. There's faith. It is a lot of faith. There's, and there's a lot of, belief and stuff. And you don't want to knock people's stuff like that. But also, you don't, I think what it comes down to, what's annoying about it is that there's people like yourself that actually does lay the groundwork, who've done the time, who've done the research, who does all these things. And then you have some average Joe Blow that jumps up on the thing just because they, like I said, have a few crystals, a few oils, and all of a sudden they're a tarot card reader, they're empathic, or, different stuff like that. Because I've had that. Yeah.
Some
I,
awakening.
yeah. Yeah. And it's not an awakening. It's a lot of ego base. That's what it comes down to, is a lot of ego base. And, believe me, I've been on my spiritual path for a long time. And these last couple of years, I've been doing the shadow work, and it's not pretty, and it's not a good thing. And there's a lot of times where it beats the crap out of you. But, and it's like I said, it's more than just lighting incense and having the crystal bracelets, or, it's a lot of work. And we live in a society that wants instant gratification, instant, fix it. And it's taken a long time for me to get to where I'm at. But, but I would not ever call myself a life coach, because I never, for me, yeah, I've been through a lot of crap. I can help you, but it doesn't mean and I would refer that person to, yeah, I read tarot. Well, it doesn't mean I'm expert at it. I'm just,
And that's the same thing I've always said about myself, is that I am no expert at anything. Just because I studied with professionals and professors and the whole shebang bang, does not make me a professional. I still don't consider myself any type of expert in anything that I've studied. I mean, even in like world religion, I don't consider myself an expert in any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I've before, I've said it before, it just makes it easier for me to spot the BS
Right.
when I see it. The my biggest mistake, I think, was staying in my own lane for so long. But hearing things, when you hear things, you start to go, what? You're like, did she really just say that?
Mm-hmm.
Really just say that? But then if I were to have if I comment in the comments of those videos, I'm the one who looks like the bad guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, I know. No.
So my thing is like I've stayed quiet. Let me backtrack just a second, okay?
Yeah.
I was never a YouTube user until about 3 years ago. There was one person I watched, and that's Jason Stevenson, and that was for my nightly meditations. But I haven't used YouTube the way I use it now. I even upload on YouTube now because there was a lot of encouragement from my group. Hey, you should do this, and you should. I was like, hey, if you guys are excited about it, so am I.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Let's do this, right? So the more I started using YouTube, I had started to notice more and more of these suggested videos. And I'm like, who are you? And who are you? And who are you? And who are you? So I'm like, okay, and now there's a cluster of these people that are purely running on ego, teaching vulnerable
Yeah.
souls, feeding them spoon after spoon of regurgitated misinformation. Now,
Right.
Here's the problem. Those people ingest what they just said. I am having a spiritual awakening. I'm starting a YouTube channel. So what ends up happening is it's a chain of misleading, regurgitated, and nobody is stopping and taking the time to do the research, do
Mm-mm.
their homework. Nobody has an original voice anymore, an original thought.
Yeah. It's
There
like
is
a game of telephone.
hello. But I think that's one of the biggest things, that nobody has an original thought anymore in this community. And the minute you have an original thought, you're negative.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm coming to the table how I am. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't like it, oh well. I mean, what
Yeah.
do you want me? Am I supposed to sit here and change my personality to make you happy for the day? No, that's not who I am. I'm not gonna change that about me.
Yeah. Well, but I just think it's just people that it's just making it hard on everyone, because there is people out there want to make a change, like how you do. You want to go out and you want to help people, but then you have the other people that prey on that. It's with anything that becomes popular, or anything that becomes, nouveau, it's just, like right now there's tons of tarot card readers. A couple years back, there was a few. Now it's grown. The good ones do stay, but some of the real legit ones end up being pushed aside, or don't get watched, because people aren't getting what they think tarot is supposed to be about. They want all this, like, being told, yes, this is going to come true, and this is going to happen, blah blah blah. And I hate seeing good, legitimate people that are trying to make a difference get torn down. There's one gal that I watched, and I've watched her for years, and I hate to hear. Well, I feel bad for her, because she goes, look, she goes, and she goes, look, this is what I'm saying, this is what the message is I'm getting. And then next thing you know, the next thing she goes, oh, I got hate mail, I got negative remarks. People are saying it's not my story, when clearly the person said, this is a general reading. This, if it doesn't resonate with you, this is not your story. And then next, we have Susie Q that comes on, and she's all, well, you said this, and then I'm with this person, and this is not happening. This is not my story. You suck. Why are you doing this? And it's like, no, just move on to the next. Or they take spiritual advice. I stopped because there's one guy that I was listening to, and I really liked him. But as time went on, I was noticing his ego has become more popular. Then he started, bringing out these things of, like, follow my advice. This is mine, and blah 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 blah. And then started, and then there's people gobbling it up, but they're not really listening to the message, and they're not really paying attention to where this is stuff for you to absorb, but process it as a suggestion or a way to go, but it doesn't mean it's an end all be all. And you got to separate the ego to some, because what might work for you might not work for me. And that's the
Exactly.
problem out there, because people again wants to fix all. It just makes it really hard. I feel bad because you were putting out, I enjoyed watching your videos and everything, but again, it's getting to the point where people will run it to the ground, just like ghost hunting, well, I don't even call it investigating, where you're investigating and then people contact you because they have an orb. They'll, no, you don't see, my grandmother's in the orb and blah 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 blah, but the TV shows say this. But it's like, but that's not really what's happening. This
No.
is not, there's this explanation, there's this, and this. You have to do that. But no, it's what people want to hear and what they want to ingest. But unfortunately, there's a few out there that take it to heart and are very gullible. And that's what the problem is.
And that's been eye-opening for me and very scary for me, because I know that I deal with very delicate souls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had to take a step back and ask myself honestly, am I part of this problem? Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that by continuously pumping out just tarot,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hurting this community. When I know stuff and I see stuff
Mm-hmm.
and keeping my mouth shut about it, that's when I'm doing everybody a disservice, right?
Right.
If I don't approach this quickly and I
Mm-hmm.
don't say something about it, then I'm hurting my community. And in college, I had to take the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm, right?
Right.
And I stand by that. I have stood by that. I will never, it terrifies me. It terrifies me because there have people that are no, I can't use the word, but you can fill in the blank, that are no longer on this planet because some of the advice that has been regurgitated like a bunch of parrots. Bah, 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 bah. That there they go. They're all repeating the same things now,
Yeah.
but they're no longer on this planet because of that problem, because of what somebody said.
Well, that's what happens, is because we have it's unfortunate that we have people that don't take personal responsibility for what they're putting out there. And that's what it is. I mean, the majority, there's some that like I said, the ones that have been out there a while, they know what's going on and they really will say something firm. But I've also seen tarot card readers that won't do personal readings anymore because
Right.
they become too attacked. There's some that, that will say, look, this is the message, like I said before, this is not for everybody. But then people don't want to hear that. They want to jump to the end because they want their quick fix, their happy endings, or ever happy end, you know what I mean. But with all that, and it's because they don't want to do the lay down the groundwork for a lot of stuff. It's like, I too, for me, I've taken to where I've taken classes. It's week after week after week after week of certain classes because I want to better myself. And some people unfortunately think that, oh, I'm going to watch this video, all of a sudden I got the answer. I'm spiritually woke, I've done this and that, and it's just really sad that we've come to this. But I know it's something that's always been, that there's people that are always looking for quick fixes. But in the same sense, there has to be more responsibility out there. But there's no one keeping anyone in check. That's the problem.
That I've said that before, because I realize that nobody who's regurgitating this information will ever be held accountable.
Hmm.
They will never be held accountable for the things that they've said to people. And that bothers the heck out of me. I'm trying not to cuss, but you know me.
But yeah, no, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's just, it's the same thing in the ghost community or the paranormal community. I get so angry because somebody watched a certain show, and all of a sudden they're out running around in the dark, and basically yelling at spirits that could and could not, or not there or whatever, or doing, what else do they do? Or now all of a sudden they were a paranormal expert because they caught this classic EVP. And it's like, it's television. It doesn't make you an expert because sat in the dark for eight. They don't put that part in when you sat there for the last 5 hours freezing your butt off, and there's nothing, or you caught one thing, or yeah, you get that little, and then people are watching videos. Oh, look at the orb drift past you. That's dust. It's dust. you
Yeah.
know or they really want it to be. But that's the same thing in the spiritual community or the other communities that that it's I'm also a practicing witch, and in there we get the people that think that they know how to witch better than the other witches, and we always go, you don't tell me how to witch. You do your practice.
I've actually noticed that, like, witches are trying to outdo the witch thing now.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's
Yeah, no,
going on?
it's some of the people that are in the spiritual community that have moved on to watch a little bit too much Sabrina, and also that, sorry, but watched a little bit, all this, like The Craft and all this, and it was back in the 90s when that was a thing too. But all of a sudden, I'm old, but back in my day it was quiet. You didn't say anything about it. It was like, I was a closeted witch basically all these years. And it's just now you can out say it out loud, and there's more access to information. And also there's yeah, because before you would have to drive to BFE to go to a store that might have a book. We didn't have Amazon to deliver, all the latest books or tarot cards, or what I mean? Or that we all didn't have spiritual shops. I mean, we had to drive all over the place just to go. I remember buying my first witchy book in the early 90s, mind you, from this little tiny shop. And it was hard to get a hold of books. And basically, learning to practice, and tarot cards, didn't have the plethora of cards that we have today. It's like you had 5 basic decks that were out there, and that was like a luxury if you can get a hold of one. And then even doing that, it was like this hidden knowledge. And it's the same in any community, all the hidden knowledge. But now anybody can have it. Anybody could just go and pick it up, a tarot card, and become a tarot card reader. On one hand, it's a positive thing to empower someone to develop their own, because I believe everyone has a gift. But in the same sense, you get a few people that have done, a few tarot card readings, and the next thing you know, they're this guru telling people how to live their lives, whether they get married or not get married, or whether, to buy this or buy that. And it's like, no, tarot is for you. If you, to me, this is my opinion, which somebody will probably get their, panties in a bunch about, but it's there. You know the answers. Most people know the answers, even though they're going to say, no, I don't know. We know them. The cards are just there, or the guidance for you to hear it out loud, for you to make that decision, like, from an opposite, like when you're talking to your girlfriend, like, hey, what do you think of this opinion? But tarot's more like, just, it's not going to care whether or not you're going to hook up with so and so or whatever, or if he loves you. It's just going to be this. You take that information, you process it, and you decide. We have free will, free fate, but then you have people that are like, am I going to die? First of all, it's not our place. Can't do medical. We shouldn't be doing that. And you got people out here telling people you know, like one of them was talking about, I know we're so over about COVID, how it's a conspiracy and it's this and that, and it's not true. It's like, are you basing that really on the cards, or are you basing that on information
Right. Or are you basing that on what the bigger YouTubers are telling you?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, is I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that this is the only way I know how to correct. I don't know if the word is correcting this or bringing more balance. I feel like this would be more, it's a more balanced way
Mm-hmm.
to bring not only myself back into balance, okay? Let's but to possibly bring, this entire community back into balance. You know what I mean?
I know. It's just trying to figure out. I don't know how. That's the thing. It's such a big rampant
I'm
problem.
I'm so for me in this experience so far, I said one little thing in a video that I posted not that long ago, and it seemed to have been become like Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
Once I said something, a bunch of people came forward like, hey, Dana, check this out, check this out. And I made everybody send me proof of what they were talking about too. I said, okay, if you're telling me that's true, send me the link. I
Right.
want show me screenshots, show me emails, give me the links to whatever you're talking about. And sure enough, these people are showing me. And again, I'm not going to just sit here and do nothing with this information,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I've been seeing things and hearing things myself. I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm a damn Gemini. Give me a break.
Yeah.
No way. No way, dude. No, but I think what has to happen, and maybe it'll encourage other people to open up and start being brutally honest
Mm-hmm.
in talking to their communities about the BS, telling them that, and unless they are part of this, unless they're part of the problem, they're not going to say shit, because it's going to be, oh well, the people won't book with me. Tough shit. You're not doing things with integrity if you're not keeping it real, keeping it honest with people. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No, that's what it does. It has to be. Well, that's the thing. I've noticed that some of the readers too, like since we're talking about tarot card readers, some of them go, look, this is a message. If this is not what you want to hear from me, then there's other people out there. Find someone. What's more concerning is that there's people that are so desperate, and that I watch a lot of them because I like to see how some of them react, and everyone has their own style. But then you have a few out there that act, they're doing it just for money. And that's the other problem is that it's no longer, are you doing this? Now, I understand people have to make a living. I have no whatever down on that. But are you doing it really because you really believe in the gift that you have and you're helping others? Or are you doing it just to profit off of misery? Because there's some people that are just miserable out there, and just one answers and they're grasping at straws. And when you're watching online tarot, some of them are really, they're not doing it for entertainment. Some of them are really grasping for straws and looking for answers that they know is wrong for them, but they're looking for a green light to be the way either they're acting what they want or to justify certain things. And
But
that's the,
on the flip side of that too, because I know there are some amazing,
yes.
amazing, phenomenal,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal leaders, phenomenal, uh, legit spiritual teachers and coaches that are out there. The more seasoned people is what I feel that they are. They're more seasoned. They're more cultured. They get it. They took the time to invest in themselves, their education. But what I'm saying is that there are still a lot of good people out there. There are. I just don't want the good, legit people to be swept up under the rug. I don't want them to be, like you said earlier, I don't want them to be forgotten about. I don't want them to hide their shine because of these little amateurs who just want to pop up. I bought a deck of cards yesterday. Let's do YouTube. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. And for me, it's just got to stop. On top of all this dangerous advice that they're giving them. Dangerous. I mean, come on. And I have to blame these bigger YouTubers. Mrs. Swan herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like everybody's falling into this I can't think for myself mindset. I don't know if you've picked up on this stuff, but like what in the hell is happening here?
I don't know. With some of them, it's just like I said, I really think, no, there's legitimate that have been there for years and are really great. And you can tell like their integrity. And I think that's what keeps people coming back. But then you do see a lot that, pop up and then they disappear because one, I think people see through their BS, and another one, they don't have the presence. But also sometimes you can tell that they don't have that foundation. Now there's some that do fake it till they make it. And those are the ones that, those are the dangerous ones that are doing, those where they turn around and they'll, be doing videos and, and they just doing it because they want to become the next popular YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what makes it difficult for all those that are legit, that really want to be out there and help.
Right. Yeah. I really pumped the brakes on everything that I had going since June. Okay, I really did pump the brakes on everything because it just wasn't settling with me. Something
Right.
wasn't settling with me, and I finally figured it out what's really been happening here. And it makes me, it's like, do I still fit in here? Do I belong here? Do I want to continue here? A part of me at one point in time in this was like, I just want to pack my bags, shut everything down, shut my YouTube down, shut down all my social medias and connection to this platform. And I'm not beating up YouTube. I'm just saying, it just made me want to shut everything down, close up shop, and just say the hell with it. The
Mm-hmm.
hell. Why? Why bother? Because when you have people out there making like a few, more than a few, but you have people out there making the community look bad, and it's like I'm not sure if I want to still be a part of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My sister station, her channel, she got up and running. She started noticing things, and she pulled away hardcore on this, and she hasn't been back to her channel. Why? I talked to her behind the scenes, and I understand what's going on in her life, but we sit down and we compare notes about this, about what's happening, especially here on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
especially the platform, you know. Then it's like I have to stop and I have to think about the people that I've already worked with. Will they fall into the wrong hands again?
Yeah.
Will, because I've said this before, I feel like I've ever since I've gotten here, I feel like I've done nothing but damage control. Damn, the cleaning up in somebody else's life and
Mm-hmm.
helping back on track, helping people think for themselves, helping people, listening to everybody. Not that I've worked with, but I have noticed people stop listening to themselves
Yeah.
to the point where this is where the obsession of tarot has like, it's like people are intentionally turning off other people's intuition just so that they become reliant on the reader. So they become reliant on needing the answer, all the way down to like, what color should I put on today? Let me go ask my reader. Like, when did you stop? When did you stop listening to yourself? What's for lunch? Let me ask my reader. And there will be people sitting out there going, here, I'm just gonna rake in the money because I intentionally turned your intuition off,
But
and
that's
I'll take your money. Like,
but that's how cult I'm sorry, but that's how cults start. You know, that's how
that's exactly how this community is going. I don't even identify with New Age spirituality. I'm over here in left field trying to figure out me, and at the end of the day, I have this internal struggle with inside of me that says spirituality is, just be about your own spirituality. That's the tug of war that I keep having here.
Mhm.
Just think about your own spiritual journey, because there's so many people that have forgotten that spirituality is about their journey and not the reliance of other people telling them what to do. But what is happening here is that more and more people are falling into this cult mindset, and it's gotten to the point where I can't. That's not me. That's not me. That's not what I signed
Mhm.
up for. I'm not cool with it either. So, anyways, that's the
I know. It's like here we're all like they're all two women who are just on here complaining. But no, it's not. It's just making awareness of what is going on because I believe like a lot of people are feeling it. I mean they've changed their formats. Some have changed how they're doing. I mean, the one gal that I watched, like I said, she does astrology at the beginning of her readings and she'll do the charts. And somebody wrote her saying, why do you do that? You're just a tarot card reader. Why are you getting into the rest of this? You know, this is witchery. This is this and that and this. And then she stopped doing it for a while. And I did write her, go, you know what? Do what makes you passionate about this. What you started, you know, I go, I enjoy it. It goes, some of it I don't understand, and I don't. Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean she should stop doing it because, you know, one person tells her, and then the next person. For every 10 people, there might be two that don't like it. And you can't dwell on that and you can't focus on that. You got to do what your purpose is. And she doesn't do it. I mean, she does earn, you know, she does stuff on the side, you know, to earn money, but in the same sense you could tell she enjoys putting out content to help people, and not just that, you know, just like, oh, this is this, and you know, take it or leave it. But it's not about her ego, it's just more of something that she's feel like she's being a service of, where a lot of others, you know, not a ton of them, but there's those few bad apples that'll just crank out videos because they have to keep, you know, they want money. You know, it's all about the money, and people are willing to throw that, but then it's not just their fault. There's people out there that have to take personal responsibility and not be so gullible. That's the hard part. It's frustrating because we see it happen, but some of those people don't want to see it. Like they don't want, you know, they rather it left up, well, the universe told me in this video and on this day and this is going to happen. And it's no, there's variance in the world. There's things that happen. Anything can change at any moment, you know. So I don't know, it just makes it complicated and sad that, you know, I felt bad that you did have to step away, that you're feeling the frustration, but that's because you're very empathetic about people and you feel it, and there's some people that just don't care, you know, they just don't care, and that's the
yeah,
frustrating part.
yeah, and there are a lot of readers and coaches out there. When I first started using YouTube, I know I'm knocking YouTube a lot. I don't mean to, but like I noticed like they were there one day and took their channels down the next day. And now I'm understanding and I'm seeing from their perspective. Like they just realize it's not worth the aggravation.
Right.
It's not worth it anymore. And I mean, there's so many beautiful things that have come out of YouTube. Like the people that I've got to work with, the people that you know, that I've made friends with, and I'm still in contact with, and you know, we still shoot the shit and stuff. And I love my little Patreon group. I love everybody on there too, and I keep them close to my heart on Patreon because I know if they need somebody, they can
Mm-hmm.
always to our little clique and just reach out. That's the thing, you know, not everybody has that you know, somebody to reach out to, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? How, I mean, and it's hard to decipher who to reach out to when you're in a community filled with vultures, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, you know, I did take the time to go, am I just gonna shut all this down, pack my bags and leave? Or do I say something? Do I speak up instead of just letting it happen? I'm just not the type to sit here and let this stuff happen. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I can't. So I think I'm off to a good start, at least introducing the idea. I think bringing this information out there and helping people,
Yeah.
it's got to be taken care of one way or another, I guess. I don't
Well,
know.
making an awareness. It's just that there's hard. It's such a big problem, but yet there's has to be. But see, that has to be how people have to figure out too what they need to be responsible for themselves. Where that's a little hard because when a lot of people won't take responsibilities for themselves, and it also has to be the people who are giving the content that take responsibility. But people need to be made aware. So I think this is a good start to just we have an open topic and don't be afraid to express it. That's the thing. We live in fear too of consequences, but you know, it has to be said. It has to be voiced. You know, it has to be brought to people's attention.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up there.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna, for helping me out. I'm
You're
sure we're gonna be
welcome.
doing more of these because your little witchy attitude and your witchy knowledge is something we need to bring out there because we need to start opening up about what witches are, who they are, and everything else.
Yeah, we're not
That's
green. We don't have we're not green. We don't have little we're not like that. We're not eating
no,
children.
no,
So,
we really need to put to rest, yeah, that whole fiasco. But that would be a good topic for
definitely.
for. All right, I love you so much. Thank
Hmm.
you so much for having me. Bye, guys. I will see you in our next video chat podcasting. See you next time. Bye.
Right, bye.